What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nia if this is your first time here, and today I will be sharing with you guys some genius home organizational hacks that is going to help you maximize every inch of your space without spending a fortune. So whether that is a small closet, tiny kitchen, I have easy budget-friendly tips that is going to help you store more, stress less, and love your space again. This is actually going to be part 2 for home organizational hacks. You guys absolutely loved the first one, so if you did miss that, I will make sure to have that linked up in the cards as well as down in the description. But this time we're going to be a little bit more interactive because I actually have some organizing that I need to do. So we're going to be organizing while I also share with you guys some tips and tricks that are easy, budget friendly, and also renter friendly as well. So if you guys enjoy home organizational hacks video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get organized. So today I have about 7 different hacks that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. And the first one is going to really be the most important, and that is going to be start to purge and declutter your home. So many times we feel as if we don't have enough space in our home, but the space that we actually have is being taken up by a bunch of random junk that we haven't used or even worn in a really long time. So the goal is not to organize clutter. We need to get rid of the things that we are no longer using, no longer serves us. When it comes to clothes, items that we are storing in our linen closet, things that we're typically using on an everyday basis, if you have not used that item in about 6 months to a year, it's time to let it go, because there's no point on organizing things that we're just simply not using. So taking this first step is automatically going to help you maximize the space that you have, because now we're only holding on to the things that we're going to be using and letting go of the things of the past. So now that we have everything donated, thrown out, all of the things, this next tip is going to fall a little bit in line with tip number 1, and that is going to be mindful of the things that you're bringing into your house. I know it is so easy to go outside, dilly-dally, go to the mall, go shop online, and just be caught up in wanting to buy things simply just to buy them. You guys are not alone. I also get caught up in the whole social media things, and people are constantly sharing with you guys different things that they're buying, which makes you also feel a little bit left out and want to buy it yourself. But you need to figure out, is this something that I truly want? Is this something that I even need? Is it even going to fit into the space that I have? And do I have a specific goal for this item that I am purchasing? So make sure to purge. And then second is going to actually be mindful of the things that you're bringing into your house, because then you're going to end up in the same position that we just were at with having a bunch of clutter in our home that we're trying to figure out how do we store and organize everything. All right, so since we're already in the bedroom, I'm going to give you one of my all-time favorite hacks in regards to appearing as if you have more space, specifically for any dresser that you have in a bedroom, and that is going to be using the KonMari file folding method. This has literally been a game changer for me. I've been using it for years at this point. Not only is it going to give the appearance of more space, which means you're going to be able to fit more clothing within your dresser, it also is going to make things easier for you when it comes to getting dressed in the morning and being able to see everything that you already have. So I have a drawer that is already finished. However, we do still have about 3 drawers that I actually have to redo because life has been crazy. It's been busy. Even though I may have all of these hacks, things are not perfect. So I am going to walk you through the process as to how to do the file folding method. And you're also going to visually see a before and after, and just see how much more space I'm going to have in each drawer after we do this entire thing. So I'm going to start by pulling out this drawer and give you guys a visual as to what this drawer actually looks like. And by the end, we're going to have so much more extra space. It's going to be insane. So definitely make sure to stick around. It doesn't matter if we are talking tank tops. It doesn't matter if we are talking about oversized shirts, regular shirts. You can still use the same exact hack to do the same thing. There might be a slight tweak, but we're going to go over all of that today. So starting off by removing everything from the drawer, and then we are going to give this drawer a much needed revamp. All right, so I started off by just categorizing each type of top that I had specifically in that drawer. So we have your oversized t-shirts, your regular t-shirts, little maybe like crop top tank tops, and then just regular tank tops. These are actually a couple of shirts that are long sleeves, so those should have been taken out when I did the whole switch for summer spring clothing. So I'm going to put those underneath the bed. So if you have a regular oversized t-shirt, what you are going to do, you're going to lay it down flat, fold it in 1/3, fold it in the other third, just making sure everything is neat. You're going to fold it all the way up to the top, and you're going to fold it over one more time. So this is where the name actually comes from, because it's like a file, like you have in a file cabinet. If you have an even bigger, let's say oversized t-shirt like this one, you're still going to do the same exact thing. However, because it is a bigger shirt, it actually might be a little bit longer or taller, and you kind of want to keep everything within the same, I guess, height range. So if that is the case, instead of going to the top here, you may want to go a little bit over. You see how it's just a little bit past the edge? Fold it over, and now you're going to match it up. So width wise, yes, it's a little bit longer, which we can fix, but height wise, it is the same. Does that make sense? So we're just going to redo this so it's a little bit thinner like the other one. And all that is just folding it in a little bit more. That's all it is. We're going to go a little bit past, and then we're going to do that. You see how it's very similar? And we're just going to be filing it into the drawer. This particular shirt is more of a cropped shirt. So similar to the same way that we did the oversized shirt, you're going to do the same thing, because again, if we're filing it like the file folding method, now it's going to be too short. It's going to be on the opposite end. So we want to still have the same similar height. So we're going to have to go past and then fold it in half. So even though it is cropped, it is still the same height as the other shirt. When it comes to tank tops, it really depends on the type of tank top and also maybe the look that you're going for. So you could still fold it in thirds this way and literally do the same exact thing that you did for the t-shirts. Just know that it's going to be skinnier. Or what you can do is, and I've done both ways, fold it over in half, fold it over in half again, and then fold it over in half. Still gives you the file folding method, but the second method is going to match or fall in line more with the way the t-shirts are, and this one is just going to give you the same look but just a little bit skinnier, as you can see. I just prefer the second one, but you're more than welcome to do the first method as well, similar to the t-shirts. So now when it comes to these items that are maybe a little bit of a crop top or like an off the shoulder t-shirt, it can be a little bit challenging. So this is actually an off the top shirt. This is the top. So what I'm gonna do is literally just fold it in half the same way we did with the tank tops. Fold it in half again, and then fold it in half again. So still you're getting that same file folding method, but it's going to be a little bit different. Now this is just like a kind of crop tank. I am just going to fold it in half so you get rid of the sleeves portion, and I'm going to fold it into thirds this way and then fold it over again. It's not going to be the same width as anything else, but that's okay. We're close enough. And then the same thing with this one. Fold it in half, fold it in half. I could possibly do one more, but I think it's just going to be a little bit too small. So this is basically the look that we are going for. Now that we have everything folded, we're going to put it now into the drawer, and you guys are going to see how much extra space that I actually have. But there is another hack that I did want to share with you guys, and that is actually going to be using any type of like bin or container. This is how I like to use it when it comes to clothing and when it comes to dresser drawers. So I purchased a pack of these like drawer bins from IKEA. It comes in black, white, and I think now they do have other colors, but I'm going to show you how I like to use them in regards to a drawer. There are other bins that I will also be sharing with you guys later on in the video, but this is another hack, is to use bins to almost categorize things within a bigger space. So let me show you guys. So having these two bins in here, I'm able to categorize the items that I recently folded. So we're going to put all of the tanks into one bin so that I don't have to guess, is this a t-shirt? Is this a tank top? I'm not quite sure. All of the tank tops are going to be placed vertically like you would do in a file, right? A file cabinet, and they're going to be placed vertically up like this. So now I can see all the tank tops. I can see how many black ones I have, blue, green, white, striped, all of the things. So we're going to place all of them in here, just like that. So we have our file folding method, but now we're starting to categorize items within one drawer. So I know all of the tank tops are going to be in here. And then for this bin, I can do something similar. I could do maybe the oversized shirts in this bin. I could do the regular shirts in this bin, or I can just get rid of the bin altogether. It's really your choice, but it's a great way to take one big drawer and use categories just using a simple bin. The last drawer that we have are going to be jeans. They could be a little bit more challenging. However, you're still going to want to do the file folding method and still place them in vertically. So I'm going to take all these out. They're actually all still pretty much in pretty good shape. That's just because it's been so hot here and I really haven't been wearing jeans like that. So I'm just going to take one apart and then show you guys how I actually fold denim. It's pretty easy, I feel like, for the most part, but still just wanted to show you. So you're gonna take your full length denim. The key is, and again, if you're a tall girl, you're gonna need to adjust a little bit. I'm a petite girl, but I typically buy regular jeans. Like, I don't buy petite. So you're gonna wanna take the bottom of the jean and you're gonna put it up right underneath the bottom of the back pocket. So when you're folding this in half, you need to make sure that the back pockets are going to be on the outside. So again, you're gonna fold it all the way up to the bottom of the pocket, and then you're going to fold it down in thirds. So it's going to start to look like this. Of course, this is too high. So what we're going to do is we're gonna just fold it over one more time, so it still gives that file folding look. And then based on, you know, the distressing of the jeans and all of that kind of stuff, you'll have a better idea as to what jeans you're trying to grab for. And then again, you're just going to do the same thing we've done in all the other drawers, where you're just going to start to add them into the drawer vertically. And then I also want to show you guys, if you get to the point where, hey, you know what, I don't have any more space. In here, I actually do, but you can still fold it vertically because you do still have this extra space. So don't ever feel as if like, oh no, I need to keep that extra space here on the side. You don't. Just put it in here and you still are able to utilize that space on the side. So now let's take a look at this specific drawer, because this one was the one I showed you guys before. So it looks so much more neater. I was able to actually fit all of the t-shirts that I had in the third drawer now into here. And then we also are using bins, which is another hack, to categorize items within the one drawer. So over here we have all of our like oversized big t-shirts, things I wear to the gym, sometimes just wear like a graphic tee. Here we have all of our tank tops, and here we have all of our regular, you know, more fitted t-shirts, but they're all in the same drawer, but they're still categorized and they still look neat. And I could see everything that I have, so it's more of a grab and go. This is why I absolutely love file folding method, and I still have some space over here on the side as well. So the last hack that I have to show you guys specifically in my bedroom is going to be within the closet. So many times when you think of closet, you're thinking of like hanging space or the top shelf, and we tend to forget about the floor space within the closet. So I'm going to show you guys actually two ways that you can go about it, because the way I utilize this space in my room is going to be different from the way I utilize it in my daughter's room, and you could just do it however works best for you. So because I do have a dresser in my closet, I really don't need extra space to fold or put clothing items. The hanging space that I already have is enough. However, I have a lot more shoes. Do I have a lot more shoes than she does? Because homegirl has a lot of shoes too, but I have a lot of shoes. So what I like to do is I will utilize a cubby that I like to put at the bottom of my closet, and this is going to have all of my shoes, sandals, heels, flip-flops, all of this stuff is going to go right in at the bottom of my closet. I'm able to store all of those things where I can visually see them. Of course, I know some people will also have like one of those like shoe hanging pieces, but I'm already using the inside of the closet. If you guys watched the last video, I mentioned using the front, the inside, the back of your door as well as space to organize your things. So that's where I have all my purses, hats, and all of that kind of stuff. So I don't also want to have something hanging there for all of my shoes. I just don't really think that that would work personally for me, but if that works for you, I love that for you. However, I do have a cubby space that I like to put at the bottom of the closet. However, during the winter time, I also like to take out our AC units, but I put that at the bottom of the closet. Now that we have taken that out, I need to move the cubby space from being in that corner. We're going to put it into the closet, and you guys are going to see how it's just adding extra space in there, and also allowing me to store all of my accessories. So here is a close-up look of the little cubby that I have. So what I love most about this is, one, that it's super affordable, and it allows me to store all of my shoes in one space. Now, if I just would have laid out all of the shoes on the bottom of the floor, yeah, I would definitely be able to store some of them, but not as many as I have within this cubby. So any of like the tall heels, they are going to have to each have their own individual one. However, there are some slots where, hey, I only have like sandals, right? Flat sandals. I can double up. So there's 2 pairs of sandals in here, or 2 pairs of flats in here. But if I have like a decent, you know, just a regular heel, I'm able to put everything in one. It's only these platform heels that each needs its own, but it's just a really great way to store and organize all of my shoes without making everything look cluttered. And I am still even able to store my suitcase. So I'm able to get everything there. And then up at the top, if you guys can see a little bit, I have a little bit of shelf space there. So I'm able to put like extra bags for when I'm like traveling and all of that stuff in there as well. But this is just a really great hack if you're trying to maximize like your closet space, especially when you have a small closet. All right, so it's time to show you guys how we utilize Riley's closet floor. Again, still the same small closet that we have. However, she does not have a large dresser the same way I do in my room. A lot of the space in her room is just allocated towards like toys and all of those, like, you know, kid knickknacks and all that stuff. So another way that you can utilize the floor space in a closet is going to be getting a dresser that can go towards the bottom. This is going to give you shelf space at the top of the dresser. That's what we like to use it for, any of her like shoes and stuff like that, on top of the shoe closet that we have in the hallway, which I shared with you guys in the previous video. And then it also allows us to store all of her clothes that can't really be hung up, like, you know, pajamas, shorts, all of that kind of stuff. So we get the best of both worlds. So what I had to do was find a dresser that was going to fit in the space. So this is what her closet looks like. So very similar to mine, just a vertical closet, but down at the bottom, instead of putting like a shoe cubby like I have, this is where we have a dresser drawer. So I actually purchased this one from IKEA, and then I just switched out the doorknobs to make it a little bit more girly. Up at the top is where she has all of her like shoes, like extra shoes and sneakers, sandals, all of the things. On the side is her suitcase, and then this is going to have all of her, you know, essentials that we can't really hang up. So all of her like biker shorts, things like that she will wear to camp or throughout the summer. And then down at the bottom, we also have all of her pajamas as well. And again, this is just showing you guys how we utilize the clothing bins within a drawer. So this has her pajamas, and then over to the right hand side is going to be all of her like gymnastic stuff. So we still have plenty of space to add more things. All right, so now let's talk about containers and bins, because I've showed you guys before how I utilize like bins within a dresser drawer to maximize the space, but there are so many other different ways that you can do the same exact thing. And depending on what the piece of furniture is or what you're trying to store is going to be dependent on what type of container or bin that you are going to be using. So I think that hands down, having any type of stackable, specifically clear bin is going to be the best way to go, especially if you're going to be putting it into any type of cabinet, closet, pantry, you name it. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of other ways that I like to use bins and containers to organize my items and also categorize them as well. So specifically in this cabinet, it is a multi-use cabinet. There are different things that I need to store in here. However, by using the stackable bins is going to allow me to categorize the items. So I'm still able to put them all in one spot without having to worry and get confused and have it looking a hot old mess. I purchased these clear stackable bins. I actually have a video when I first got them. I am absolutely obsessed. So Riley and I like to do our nails at home. So we have a whole little like system and everything like that. So I decided to get these clear stackable containers and bins. So it does come in part like that. The top one is just going to have all of our gel nail polishes, while down at the bottom is going to be, you know, a little bit of everything. Nail filers, glue, couple press-on nails, all of that kind of stuff. But it is going to also be in the same cabinet as to where we keep all of our, I want to say like electronic items, right? This is actually going to be the one that I've had for a really long time. Up at the top has a couple of our like electrical things, power banks, also some things for our like Nintendo Switch, some things that I use for social media. But again, it's just a clear bin that I'm able to easily pull out, see what is in there. And then again, all the way down at the bottom is just going to have some of like our games, cards, and then a drawer for our Nintendo Switch. So you could see how this one huge cabinet is going to be storing multiple items, but it doesn't look cluttered or messy because by using the stackable bins allows us to keep everything organized, but also keeping everything within the same cabinet or drawers. All right, so another way that I use these same exact stackable bins, but in a different way, is going to be in my pantry. I like to use the stackable drawers that I had gotten off of Amazon to store all of our like medicine and things that we use for when we're sick, and Riley's like EpiPen and all of the things that you just need to have on hand when it comes to having a child. This literally works perfectly for us. It's just a set of 3, and I want to say that the style came in maybe a couple of different styles. So you had like a flat long one, then you also had different sizes of the drawers, but it works really great for us. It fits perfectly within the pantry, and it's just an easy pull out drawer. One of us have a headache or anything like that, I'm easily able to grab something. And then, you know, when Riley's sick or not feeling well, I can also just go in here and grab anything that it is that I need. I also love the fact that the drawers actually fully come out as well. So if you're kind of looking for something, I'll just plop it on the table, go through it, grab what I need, and then just put it back. But the fact that it is also clear allows me to see what is already in there, which just makes honestly everything really easy for me. Now, the last way I like to use clear stackable bins is going to be slightly different than the 2 ways that I just recently showed you. They're also different stackable bins. When I found these off of Amazon, I knew I needed to grab them, especially when we were putting this whole entire pantry together. So we like to have an area that just has all of our like snacks, and I also wanted something very easy for Riley to be able to grab and go. So I love these open stackable bins that it allows us to see everything that we need, but also I'm able to put snacks on there, so she can just easily come in here when she's hungry, wants to grab a snack, and just grab and go. It makes it very convenient for her, so I also don't have to always be around. It allows her to be independent and grab whatever it is that she needs. So I got a pack of, I want to say a pack of 3, I believe. So they're just stackable bins. You can continue to keep stacking them just with the height that I was given within the pantry. I'm only able to stack 2 at a time, but then all the way up at the top, I am also able to put, you know, our spaghettis and pastas and all of that kind of stuff as well. But I switched this up all the time. Sometimes it's holding chips and things like that, and sometimes it's holding something else. Move things around. Just because you purchased it for one thing does not mean that in, let's say, a couple of months or next year, I'm going to be using these bins somewhere else in my home to store something completely different. I also wanted to reiterate that by using these stackable bins is going to also build on top of the hack that I provided you guys with in my last video, which is to use vertical space. Yes, in this situation, we are not using walls to utilize vertical space. We're using the vertical space that is within a cabinet or a pantry or a drawer or a closet or anything like that. Because if I did not have these bins, then the chips and everything like that is just going to be sitting down at the bottom. And then what happens to all of the space that is in the middle, right? We're not utilizing that. So using stackable bins is going to also help you maximize the bin or cabinet space that you have by using the vertical space within a cabinet, within a drawer, within a closet. All right, you guys, so here is the last hack that I have for you guys in today's video. I gave you so many good gems in here, but this is actually going to be for all of your digital stuff, right? So many of us have phones that we're taking tons of pictures on, especially if you have kids, grandkids, you name it. But what happens to those photos once you've taken them? It's no longer going to the store, printing out all your photos and putting them into a photo album. Of course you can do that, but one of my favorite things recently to have done is I've taken a lot of photos off of my phone because my iCloud has no more space, and I've taken that and put it onto an external hard drive. But again, I still want to look at these memories and the photos and all of the things. So what I just did was I went on to blurb.com and I created our own photo albums. This isn't even a year's worth of photos, but I was able to put in so many photos. Now, it does take some time to go through all of that. Riley decided that she wanted to draw the cover, which I just think is so cute. But these are just going to be all of the baby photos from when I was like pregnant and to when I had her, and just all of those like baby pictures that like you're literally snapping your phone every second of the day. Your baby yawns or blinks and you're just like, you have to capture it. But instead of just keeping it on my phone or on my external hard drive or in the iCloud, I decided to just make our own personal, photo album from all of the digital photos that I have. So even though it is still stored on the external hard drive, we like to just come in here and I will tell Riley stories of, oh my God, this is what happened when you were a baby. And we're still just keeping the memories alive, and I absolutely love it. I do now need to take some time and create more of them, but again, like I told you, it took me a couple days to go through all of the photos. Like when I told you I have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of photos that were just sitting there on my phone and on the external hard drive. Now we get to like just see it, and you just get to see her like light up. I actually made her costumes when she was like first born for her first Halloween. I'll have to show that to you guys. It's so cute, and she will go in here and she'll look at it and she just thinks it's the cutest little thing. So I have a video of this on my channel, but I literally made her costumes because I was obsessed. So this is all in 1 year. She literally was 3 different things. So she was a unicorn, ice cream cookie, and then also a little cow. And I just had fun with it. I was a first time mom. I was a new mom, and just embracing all of that. But I completely forgot about all of these things because it was just sitting on my phone and sitting on an external hard drive. So I think that going on to any of those like websites where you can create a photo album, I think that there are so many out there. I can only speak to Blurb. I've used them previously. And I just love the quality of everything. So just being able to take the time to go through all the photos, and you can customize it however you want. So if you don't want that many photos on one, page, then don't do that. Like you get to like be creative with all of it. And I think that's really what takes a lot of time, is just going through everything and then just creating the photo album of your dreams ultimately. So I do need to go on and do the same thing. I know I also need to finish what I started with all of her artwork as well. So of course we do have all of her artwork since she has been in, preschool, but it's just sitting in, an ottoman somewhere, right? In a storage place somewhere. But I do want to do the same exact thing by creating a book with all of her artwork and just displaying all that, because you get to see the evolution of her growth the same way you do with a photo album. You get to see the evolution of like your family's growth and everything like that. I just wanted to find a creative way to house all of our like just family photos and all of that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and you found and learned some new different tips and tricks to help you maximize the space that you have. If you guys would like a third, I know people are already asking for a part 3, then please let me know down in the comments. I absolutely love finding creative ways to maximize and add more storage to my home. There's no need to go out and buy a bigger house or all of the things. You just need to work with what you already have, and there's always going to be a creative way on how to do so. I actually am waiting for something new that I just purchased to come in today, so that is just going to be another hack as to how I, just add storage to my apartment. But everything that I've shared with you guys is budget friendly, renter friendly, and just easy creative ways to add more storage to your home so that you can fully embrace and enjoy the home that you're in. So if you guys enjoyed, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys right back here in my next video. Bye.
You're